Hello, everyone, and welcome to An Hour with Dave, a straight shooting talk show that doesn't hold anything back. You either love the show, hate the show, love me, hate me, doesn't matter, but it's the show you want to watch. 1 Hour with Dave. And I want to say it's been a couple of hard weeks, we know here, but we want to thank everybody who hung in there through some of the technical difficulties that we had. But we're back, and as always, An Hour with Dave is a non-political segment, and we, in An Hour with Dave, if you're Republican or Democrat or Independent, it doesn't matter to me, because if you screw up, I let everybody know. So politicians know this, people know this, and today's guest is a follow-up, the guests that are on, from one of the programs we had before that I respect and I enjoy a lot. It's for America for Prosperity. And it's an incredible group of people, and they do fantastic work, and they're moving forward. And we're going to continue to talk about the programs, what they do, especially now because they're working on this prison reform and etc. And they're reaching out to an incredible amount of people, and the information they're getting back and the work that they're putting out. I'm not going to spoil it and keep talking about it because I need them to talk about it. Today's guest, I'm going to have them introduce themselves. You know LINWOOD. Everybody's familiar with LINWOOD from America for Prosperity. But we also have a gentleman by the name of GULIBON. Am I saying that right? Mark?
GULIBON, Grant GULIBON.
Grant GULIBON. There you go. And you know me, guys, I mess everybody's names up. But let's get them on, and let's have the LINWOOD. Why don't you introduce yourself and tell them what you're doing and your position, and then we'll pass it on to your coworker.
Yes, how you doing? I'm LINWOOD Holland. I'm with Americans for Prosperity here in Southeast Pennsylvania. I'm the Community Engagement Director, which, as you know, is one of our programs in our vision is to help people remove the barriers that hold them back. So as we come to you again, we're presented with another barrier that hopefully we can help people overcome and achieve their lifelong goals. So I'm bringing our state deputy director, Grant GULIBON, with me this time because I need that extra help, and he'll be able to steer people in the right way as far as the policy goes. So I'll turn it over to Grant now.
Well, thank you, LINWOOD, and you help me every bit as much as I might be helping you. I can tell you that right up front. But I'm based out of Harrisburg. I'm our deputy state director with Americans for Prosperity Pennsylvania. I'm our chief lobbyist in Harrisburg, so spend a lot of time under the dome now that we can get back under the dome and see people in person, and talk to legislators about why it's so important that we continue to support legislation that breaks barriers to opportunity for all Pennsylvanians, and that we oppose things that are going to limit people's ability to lead happy, successful, prosperous lives and contribute what they want to and to the state, to the country, and to live out their version of the American dream. And so I'm very happy to be a part of this Americans for Prosperity PA team, working with LINWOOD and our other great folks on our team. And just very, very happy to have this opportunity to be able to talk about some of those things today, especially something as important as probation reform.
That's great because we all know that issue it crosses and affects not only the individual but his or her family members, his or her lifestyles. I mean, we got to get one of the things that I'm pushing is to try to get people to become again independent, not depending on the system or on government. And I think that these issues that, especially with the organization that you guys are from, it gears people to try to get them to be independent. I know LINWOOD for a long time, and LINWOOD it pushes that. to make people as independent as possible. Because the worst thing that could happen is an individual becomes dependent on the system, and that affects the person. It affects how much they value themselves. It affects how much that they see themselves, where they're going, etc. And we've gotten into this kind of like mindset that let's wait for the government to do everything for us, and we need to get away from that. And that is an incredible work that your organization is doing. One of you two guys want to talk about the bill and how you're lobbying at this point?
Sure. I mean, the bill is again dealing with probation reform. It's Senate Bill 5. Prime co-sponsors are Senator Cameron Bartolotta, Republican from Washington County, and Democrat Anthony H. Williams out of Philadelphia and Delaware counties. And this is an issue that came before the Senate, a bill last session, passed the Senate unanimously. I mean, I think that's one of the very gratifying things about this issue is that most of the legislators we talk to, regardless of where they happen to be from, what side of the aisle they're on, they understand the issues of opportunity here, and they understand that reforming our probation system does good for a number of different reasons and for a number of different folks within the community. Not just, as David, as you mentioned, not just the person who happens to be on probation that's in the system, but also for their families and for the community at large, and then also too just for Pennsylvanians in general, for the taxpayers around the state, because it makes no sense to be in a situation where you have people who are on probation who have been fulfilling the terms of what they're obligated to do, but then have a small issue come up unrelated in many cases to the underlying issue for which they may be on probation, and end up going back into the system for much longer, and it derails their ability to be able to lead productive lives, be productive members of the community, take care of their families, and live out their dreams and the work and that they want to do. And at the same time, we're in a situation in Pennsylvania where we just passed a budget that spends over $40 billion. And when we have severe fiscal challenges coming in the future, both related to the COVID-19 pandemic and also to a number of other issues. And the last thing we need to be doing is expending money needlessly to keep people in the system who don't need to continue to be there. And we need to just bring more common sense, I think, to the way that we do this. And this legislative effort, I think, is an effort to do that recognizes the fairness not only to the person on probation, but also to the Pennsylvanians at large who pay for the administration of the system that we have.
Yeah, and some of the things, and I know I've discussed it with Linwood, and I discussed it with a few people, is that there's so much to this issue, because more and more I'm finding that people that do their time and people that met their requirements, and then they go out there, they're still running into all kinds of obstacles. So yeah, we need to do this critical piece of reforming this, but we also have to realize that there's a lot of obstacles that hold people up. For example, if the person did his or her time or is completing and staying out of trouble, they have issues trying to find employment. They have issues trying to find taking care of their family. And we have that problem. There's obstacles, and I'm glad that this is a start with this reform, but there's additional stuff that we as people, as a community, as voters, have to come together and talk about. Because I was talking today to a gentleman that I believe it's called Kensington Breach, and I've asked him to come on, and let me tell you, he sees it head on, some of the issues that are going on in the community, and he's lived through some of the stuff, watching people go through this. And I've been there. I've seen people who will come to me and say, I'm on probation for 5 years, and then they want to get a decent job, and they've been clean for a long time, and boom, you can't get a job because you had some kind of a background, or you have an issue. Or if you get a job, say working for the cable company, they offered it to you, and you are in Philadelphia, and your job is the territory they're sending to you. If you're free to lay or something is in, you're lucky to get the job. First of all, say it's in Delaware, or it's in New Jersey. Well, then you got to get all this permission and all this information and all this stuff just to get the job.
No,
I
that's
mean,
right.
the barriers are ridiculous. What's happening out here? It's almost like you're forced to stay in the system. They get a hold of you, and next thing you know, you ain't getting out. Not that easy.
No,
But
it's
Linwood, go ahead.
yeah.
Linwood, I think we lost Linwood.
Mute.
I'm here. I'm practicing talking on mute. I said, you know, we know these problems exist in the Philadelphia area, as well as some counties in the state that we don't know that they exist in. And I found out through my travels in the state that they exist in other pockets of the states.
Yeah.
But you know, when you look at the cornerstones of Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, and Philadelphia, since they're the biggest territories in the state, those are the ones that's mostly talked about when we bring these issues up. But I'm bringing it to people like, no, this happens in Potter County, you know, some other Center County, Allentown, different parts of the state, but it's not mentioned or not brought to the forefront of the people. And then people don't understand what laws are in place that can help them or not help them. So I brought Grant here because Grant knows these laws, and he knows exactly the terminology that they put in these laws that'll make them work for the people and not work for them. So I'm going to leave Grant to explain all of this stuff, how it works and how people can, you know, navigate through the system or what we're trying to do with their help. You know, this is a two-part, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
And Grant, so what have you what are you experiencing when if you've been able to talk to the community itself when it comes to some of their issues? How can we get involved to support what you're doing and pushing as hard as we can? And I know that I'm going to be pushing as hard as we can. But
Well,
what are some of the obstacles that you're seeing
Well,
to get this bill passed?
well, one of the things I think is that, you know, I think Linwood made a very good point about this being an issue that's not an urban issue. It's not a major population center issue. It's all over Pennsylvania, as he talked about it. The most rural areas of the state, suburban areas of the state. My job is more in dealing with the legislators themselves, and I think that whenever you have you know, you build relationships and you build trust between, you know, as we've seen with the leaders in the Senate on this issue. I mean, you've got Senator Williams out of Philadelphia, Delaware County, but, you know, Senator Lisa Baker, who's the chair of the Senate Judiciary Committee. She's from the northeast part of the state, up in the far northeastern corner. Senator Bartolotta is all the way in the far southwest part of Pennsylvania, in coal country. So, I mean, there's a recognition that whenever you've got, you know, people find the common ground and they can talk to each other about the issues, and then they also help to educate their fellow legislators about that as well. So we can do that job in educating them directly, but also we provide them with the information, and in the case of our activists, their life experiences that they can relate and then come back and they can be good lobbyists for the issue to their peers in the legislature, whether it's in the Senate or in the House.
I need you to hold on to that thought.
Sure.
We're going to take a quick break, and then when we come back, we're going to talk to these two gentlemen and find out if anybody, what are their obstacles? Anybody trying to, you know, not coming across, because this should be a bipartisan bill that shouldn't have any issues or anybody trying to hold it back or vote nay on it. So let's take a break, a quick little break for 30 seconds and for the commercial, and then we'll come back and talk to them. Hello, everyone, and welcome to An Hour with Dave, a straight shooting talk show that doesn't hold anything back. You either love the show, hate the show, love me, hate me, doesn't matter, but it's the show you want to watch. 1 Hour with Dave. All right, welcome back, everybody. And again, I know if you've been listening, you know what's going on. You know that this bill is very important. And the people we're talking about with this. And I need everybody to remember, this is not a political show. It's not where, you know, I go after everybody who's doing wrong. It doesn't matter to me what party you're with. But whatever comments come out of here, it's not Usula Media's comments. It's all on me. You love me, you love me. You hate me, you hate me. I'm okay with it either way around. But it's mine's and my guests. And when my guests say something, the buck stops on me. So I want you to know that for sure. So nobody gets any ideas that it's anybody else. It's on me, and I'm going to tell you because I'll call it a black ace and a white spade or white spade. It doesn't matter to me. I do what I got to do. Okay, so we're back. Okay, guys, you were finishing a thought, sir.
No, again, I was just talking about the importance of not only us lobbying legislators, but legislators talking to each other and building that trust and educating each other about the importance of the issue. And I think that that's one thing that we've seen on this issue, where you have people from different parts of the state that represent different types of communities in terms of geographic location, population makeup, all of those things. But they've come together in the recognition that this hurts all Pennsylvanians to continue with the situation that we currently have. And so I think we've seen that very good bipartisan work on the Senate side, and what we need to work on is continuing to keep that firm and taking that to the House of Representatives and making that same case.
Oh, great. But now, when you're doing your lobbying, have you been running into anybody on either side that is not is on the fence or is not looking to buy into this bill?
It's been a little bit harder on the House side, and again, there's 4 times as many members of the House as there are of the Senate, so you have more people to talk with. I joined AFP Pennsylvania probably about a little bit more than a year ago, and just as this bill was getting to the finish line in the Senate last session, so haven't had a chance to talk to a number of the members in the House. I anticipate now that we're going to be doing a lot more of that, just because we finished up with the budget, we finished up with some other issues that were taking precedence here in the spring, and I'd anticipate as we get toward the fall here that's going to ramp up a good bit, and we'll have a much better idea of who we need to influence, who's on the fence, who's pro the issue, and who else we may need to win over in terms of opposition.
Well, I think that the reason why I'm asking these questions is that I think that the public, the voters, they need to start getting more involved in bills, in all kinds of activities that's going on, not only in Harrisburg but in Washington. We kind of have sat back a little bit and have let the people that we vote kind of run amok, my opinion. In some cases, and we gotta grab the rings again, and we gotta say, listen, like this bill here, it's a very important bill, and if somebody is good with it, we're fine. If somebody is against it, why? And simply ask them why. I want to know why you don't think this is a good bill. I mean, we need to move on. We need to make changes so that as a society, we're giving everybody a break, and I'm not perfect. Last time I know, when I try to walk on top of water, guess what? I stepped in and it wet me all up. So, I'm not perfect. And thank God that I've reached a point that I know where I'm going if something happens to me. But, and we got to understand that, not everybody is perfect. No one out here walks on water. I don't care what your job is. You could be a janitor. You could be the president. Doesn't matter. You don't walk on water. So you need to get your head out of the clouds and come down to reality. And we need to start talking to people and getting them involved. But if you have anyone that you people seem to be having a problem with, give me a call, because I'll call their office and tell them, why don't you come on the radio so that you're going to have a chance to defend yourself, because I'm about to tell the people that you don't like this bill. So I don't have a problem with it.
No, I mean ultimately the power in our republic is our constitutional republic is with ultimately vested in the people, and
That's right.
that's what's so great about Americans for Prosperity Pennsylvania. And Linwood could talk about this, I think, better than I can, because he's out in the community every single day talking with people who have seen exactly what you're saying there, Dave, that they need to get involved and make their voices heard. And had a great experience with that. And Linwood has a terrific way of relating the issues to people so that they see what their stake is in it and motivate them to get involved. And Linwood can talk about that more, about the mechanics of how that goes on. But it's a
Yeah.
terrific thing about our organization.
Well, the
Yeah.
thing about our organization, Dave, it also it pinpoints the policy, and policies affect no matter what your designation is, Democrat, Republican, Independent. It doesn't matter. The policy is going to affect you. It's not going to go away from you if you're a Democrat and come if you're a Republican or vice versa. So most of the people that I talk to in the community don't have any idea when I talk about a policy. They look at me like, what am I talking about? You know, it's like giving somebody your money and just walking away, and however they spend it, you think it's going to be the right way. Our government should be looked at as whoever you put in office should be representing you. So we're divided along Democrat and Republican lines. But when I talk to people, I tell them we're not divided, because whoever goes in there has to represent both of us.
That's
So
right.
we have to decide who we go in. And I think a part of the effectiveness of reaching people here in Philadelphia and in some parts of the southeastern part of the state, I'm telling them it doesn't matter. If it's a good Democrat, put them in. If it's a good Republican, put them in. But put good people in. Nobody says that one party is going to have all good people, another one has all bad people. And
No.
this is what people have been filtered to believe for so long. So, it's just waking them up and giving them a chance to understand that they have control over the things that happen in this state. They just need to step up and take their rightful place.
Yeah, and to say that I agree, because I'm a 44-year Republican, and let me tell you, I dog the Republicans whatever they do, and I call them out for it as well as I do the Democrat. And in the primary, I vote for who I think is the best candidate to run for my party. But in November, when I close that curtain, I vote for the man I think is better. I don't vote party simply because I'm in a particular party. I vote for who I think is better. Okay. I'll give you a perfect example. I thought it was time and I voted for Obama the first time around. Okay. That's where I felt. I think it was time. I think it was the right move. And then the second time, I didn't. But I did the first time. It's just an example. In November, people need to weigh out and hear out everybody and pick who they think is the best guy. But remembering that if he or she makes these statements and say, I'm going to do X, Y, Z, because if you have a job out there and you say you can't go to your work and say, I'm going to do this job. And then later on you come back and they say, did the job get done? You say, no, I'll do a next election on the next time around. Well, you won't have a job, but these politicians will be there for 10, 15, 20 years. And we need to put them in check, because a lot of them keep coming back and telling you what they want, what they think you want to hear. Yeah, Social Security is a problem. Well, I'm tired of 20-year-old dudes and 30-year-old people telling me that Social Security is a problem. Sucker, you've been in there for 20 years already, and you haven't figured out how to do it yet? Man, you need to go back and start sweeping floors or something so we can get somebody in there to do something actually about it.
No.
And that's the bottom line. You get what you pay for. If you want cheap work and cheap equipment, then you buy cheap. Go China. And that's what's happening. When you want a politician in there to do something for you, if you're a politician, when they come to my office and I have my office here in Philadelphia, and they say they need help with something, my office, I do not allow any staff to ask the person what party you're with, because I don't care. If you need something, you need something. If I'm in office and you come in, the last thing I want to do is ask you what party you're with, because I feel this way. If I do my job like I promise to help you as a constituent, to make sure your things are taken care of in election time, I think that you're going to be able to sit back and say, wow, you know what? Torres helped me out. He did do what he said he was going to do. And I want to come back and say, these are the 10 things that I'm following up on. But I don't want 10 elections later to tell you, yep, all I'm doing is changing the color of the list of things I want to do on paper. And it's the same thing I told you before. So we as people need to get involved more. Go ahead. I know you guys been trying to say so.
Oh no, that's fine. All I was going to say is that's our Constitution and our form of government weren't designed to just elect people to office and then just kind of put it on autopilot and not hold them accountable. The only way that our system of government works the way that it's supposed to is for the people to be involved and to be vigilant and to be the watchdog on their elected officials and to make sure that they're living up to the promises that they made and holding them accountable. And I think that the more that we promote an active, informed citizenry that takes the time to get involved, makes contact with their legislators so that they know who they are and they get to know their names and faces, and they understand that there's somebody out there watching them and paying attention to what they're doing. That's the only way that you get the type of results that you need and that you deserve as an informed citizen.
Yeah, and I think that's super important, because when we've getting too much ring to the government, and it's super important that we get involved. And then we have organizations like America for Prosperity. I mean, that is where we need to support them. We know that you guys have to go. I wish you could stay longer. And if you ever want to come back, you're more than welcome to come back. But everybody's going to be asking questions, but you guys have to go somewhere. So I want to give you each a minute to say what you want to say to your people out there, and introduce yourself again so that someday we can bring you back. If you're welcome, to come back anytime. And don't forget my offer. Anybody gives you guys a hard time, drop me a name.
No, thank you, Dave. It's good to know that you're in our corner, and it's good to know that you're out there working as hard as you are, and with the attitude that you have toward the work that you do. And you'll be happy to come back and talk more about this or whatever else you might want to talk to as we go along here. So again, thanks for the opportunity. We appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm just echoing sentiments. Thank you very much. I want people to know that SB5, I'm sorry, is the bill that we're talking about now. Go online and pull it up. And if you need any help with it, they have my information. They can connect me. I'll be more than willing to go over it. If they need more detail, I can connect them with Grant. But we want to make sure that everybody understands what this bill is about, and then have the knowledge to go out and tell it to other people, so we can keep the chain moving and get this bill passed. This is for everybody.
I appreciate that, and anybody that wants to continue to follow up on it too, freedomnottyranny.com is my website. You can go to my website and you're going to see more information on what we're talking about, the bill, etc. I'm going to ask Linwood that if he wants to put something that I can put on my website, I'll be more than glad to. And anybody wants to go in there, again, it's freedomnottyranny.com, and you can go in there, and then we'll have a section for you to look up what's happening with this bill and what's going on. Thank you, guys. God bless you guys. Keep up the good work. I'm here for you. Anything at all, you can call me.
Thank you, Dave.
Thanks, Dave.
All right.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to An Hour with Dave, a straight shooting talk show that doesn't hold anything back. You either love the show, hate the show, love me, hate me, doesn't matter, but it's the show you want to watch. 1 Hour with Dave. Welcome back, everybody, to An Hour with Dave. It was the first half of this hour was very interesting with the people we had on. Now, I want to talk about where we're going with shows. There's a a lot of activity going on. There's a lot of questions that are being brought to me. There's my viewers and my people are asking questions to me. So what we're going to do when I'm introducing is that we're going to have a series of where we're going to take the Constitution of the United States. And if anybody doesn't know what that is, that's a Declaration of the Constitution of the United States, which was originally the first draft was here in Philadelphia. We'll get into all that, but we're gonna put together an entire series covering every amendment that's in there. And then we're going to cover the Bill of Rights. And what does the Bill of Rights have to do with the Constitution? That it covers the first 10 amendments. And we're going to have different people come in, and we're going to have different people talk about each amendment so that you can understand it. And then we're going to put it in the plain English so you can understand it. Because we're having our educational system group here. And I got to tell you, if you're not paying attention, you got to take control of your liberties. You got to take control of your rights. You got to take control of what's happening out there. And the Constitution is being stepped on. And the Bill of Rights is being stepped on. And while they're stepping on it, they're taking away little by little by little your ability to be independent. And they're getting control of you. And it's happening all over. They're controlling when you can eat. They're controlling what you can talk about on media. They're controlling what you can see on TV. They're controlling when you can go to church. They're controlling where your cross is at. They're controlling if you want a Christmas tree. If you don't want a Christmas tree, you can't say Merry Christmas to somebody because that offends somebody. You can't have your cross hanging out because it offends somebody. Well, I'm going to tell you what. My name is David Torres. And if you're offended by I say Merry Christmas, don't answer. If you're offended when I wear a cross, I want to say life's a B. And tough. I'm not going to deny that I'm a Christian. I'm not going to deny my God. And you're not going to take that right away from me. I don't care who you are. You're not going to do it. And you're not going to take my independence. And you're not going to take away my American flag. It waves in front of my house, and it will continue to wave there. And the cross is there, and it'll continue to be there because I'm going to keep pushing for freedom, not tyranny. So listen, guys. This series that we're trying to put together. You go to school now, and your child sits there, and they make the cross sign, and they want to pray before they take a test. Your child gets sent to the principal's office. Okay? And then your child gets sent to the principal's office. You as a parent, and you believe that your child is looking to the higher power to say, Lord, I did everything I could. Help me with this exam. Well, your kid can't go to college and say that anymore. Kid can't go to his high school and say that anymore. Because all of a sudden it's offensive. And people don't want him to be able to do that. But they put everybody else first. Think about that. Think about when they're defunding police. Crime rates across this country is going through the roof in some places. People are being shot like if they have no rules and no regulations. You know what's going to happen to you? I'm going to tell you what's going to happen to you. The government will keep defunding. Police will start quitting, which they are, by the thousands and the hundreds and the thousands. You're not going to have people wanting to take the job. And the federal government's going to come in and say, okay, we need federal order. So we're going to start policing every state, every large city federally. You know what that means when they say that? It means military. It means the National Guards, or it means federal police. Well, guess what? Welcome to Cuba. Welcome to Venezuela. Welcome to Russia. Welcome to Korea. Welcome to China. If you keep allowing this government to tell you that you do not have the right to fight about something and argue about something, and they keep cutting back on police and security and support and helping people with drug addictions and taking security of our border, it's being done on purpose. And both parties know that they're doing this to you. You're headed, the next thing you know, they're going to be hanging China's flag over the White House. And the American flag will be under it. You may wind up with a picture of Hitler in the president's office. Because that's what you're headed for not paying attention. They're destroying our country. And we as the voters are letting them do it. We as Christians, we as Americans, we as people, you know, the country is not perfect. We've made mistakes. We have. We made some critical mistakes. But every country almost on the planet has had slaves. That doesn't excuse what we did. Well, not me particularly, but the forefathers of this country, because I'm not at fault for what they did. I'm in the hustle like everybody else is right now. And Hispanics, if you want to get technical, Hispanics are in bad shape when it comes to city jobs, government opportunities, etc. We're in bad shape. This city is one of them. You got officials in this city who represent the Hispanic community who's done jack shit to make sure that Hispanics have equality in jobs. Nothing. Go to City Hall and find out how many Hispanics, as opposed to every other race that's out here, how many Hispanics, and see if they're equal to having jobs in City Hall. It ain't gonna happen. There's no record of it. There's department after department after department. You can't even go to the parking authority to see a judge until if you don't speak English, they got to send an interpreter because they got every other race working there but Hispanics. And you got city council and state reps who are Hispanics who ain't doing jack shit about it. Nothing. Taking care of their own people, their own relatives. But you're getting screwed. Look out your window and see next time when the trash company's out there, how many Hispanics are working. Why? We only can get SSI? We can only get a prescription and a few jobs handed to us? My people are proud people. So why is it that we don't have it? Why is it that representatives do things to us and lie to us over and over again? Because we're allowing them to do it. But it's happening to everybody. This country's not perfect, man. It isn't. But I wouldn't give it up for anybody else. We got issues. Is the border an issue? Yeah. So we need to look at the Bill of Rights that we're doing. And we need to look at the Constitution. And we're going to work on it. And we're going to go piece by piece. You know, in schools, they're not teaching you the Constitution anymore. Go out, ask your kids. Your kids go to school here. Come on, folks. Be like your president, because I ain't gonna say he's mine. Your president, you know, while he falls asleep. Ask anybody who's in 7th, 8th, 9th grade. Where's the Constitution? What's the Constitution? Where was the first draft of it? They have no clue. No clue. But they are being taught that white people are racist, that Republicans are racist. I know kids that are out there. I'm telling you, I'm fighting with school systems now. There are school systems out there that are teaching people that white people are racist. Well, let me tell you, I've worked with every race that's out there. Puerto Ricans are racist. We do it to ourselves. Somebody's too dark, somebody's too light. We've had it done, man. We've done it. It happens all the time. We got to stop this. We got to take control of our lives. We got to stop letting people lead us on. You can't do this. You can't continue to have people tell you, and watch what's happening in these schools with your kids. This system that they're trying to pass for these kids to learn is telling people on videos, they got two, and I'm gonna try to bring it up on the next when we start the Bill of Rights. I want to see if I can bring it on if they didn't take it down, where they're showing two cartoon characters. One is white, one is dark or brown. Brown's supposed to represent everybody else. Okay? And they literally say, if you were this color, which is white, and you were this color, you're at a disadvantage because this one has always an advantage. Well, go tell that to the people in Kensington. Kensington has every race you could think of and every youth you could think of. So that's a problem. Okay? You can't constantly cry racism. When it comes to jobs, we need to move on. We need to come together and say everybody's important. We need to stop saying that white people are racist. Because let me tell you something. I want you to walk through my streets of my neighborhood. I want you to show me the white people on these corners selling drugs. Come on. Everybody who says that white people are racist, come down my neighborhood, walk through Kensington, and show me the white people that are pushing the drugs. Show me the white people that are shooting the Hispanics. Show me the white people that are shooting the African Americans. Show me the white people that are beating up on the Chinese. It ain't happening, man. There's no white people in my neighborhood doing this. It's us. We need to take control of our stuff again. And we need to stop letting the media, we need to stop letting public officials, all of them, tell us that white people hate us. Because it isn't true. Everybody's not racist. White people also fought to free the slaves. Look at history. They don't want you to learn that. A lot of white people died to free slaves, dude. And right now, there's no legal guns. You get this zero president of ours stands up in public. I'm going to bring that back when that subject comes up. I need to take a break. And after this break, we're going to talk about this because we got to talk about this crime issue and what's happening and how they're suckering you to believe that it's all white people and it's the NRA and it's everything else. Let's go on break and we'll come back to that.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to An Hour with Dave, a straight shooting talk show that doesn't hold anything back. You either love the show, hate the show, love me, hate me, doesn't matter, but it's the show you want to watch. 1 Hour with Dave.
Welcome back, everybody. And I want to talk to you real quick. This is the last segment that we're going to have here because we're talking about the Bill of Rights and we're talking about the Constitution. We're going to bring things back. But I'm tired. I'm tired of hearing race, 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 race. Okay? I'm tired of it. I'm tired of the Democrats blaming the Republicans blaming the Democrats. You know what? We send these super clowns in there to do a job. I don't want to hear it no more. I want you to go in there and do your damn job. Or we need to start firing people. we need to give people notices. And maybe we need to start sending them pink slips. You don't have 30 days to get this going, then we're going to start signing a petition to get you out. I don't even want to wait till the next election. It's disgusting that we're letting them get away with this. You have the president come on, the violence by 50%, 100%, 200%, 300% in some cities. People are dying all over the big cities, in every major city. Police are retiring. They're gonna make this a communist country if you continue to let them defund police. Is everything perfect with the police? No. But let's look at how many of our kids are dying as opposed to how many are dying at the hands of police. Is it wrong that they're dying at the hands of police? You're damn right. But they're painting that, and they're not painting and letting you see that the nonsense that they're letting happen on purpose in the other side. There's weekends going backward in Chicago, New York, Philadelphia. If you put all the numbers together, you're close to 100 or more people dying every weekend. And they're not dying because Ku Klux Klan coming down. There's nobody standing doing the hokey pokey on my corner wearing white sheets. It's our own people that are shooting each other. Nobody's doing it. Stop believing the nonsense. This president got up there on television. Do you remember that? Last night, I thought he was going to fall asleep while he was in the middle of conversation. We cannot have this guy past 6 o'clock. If the sun goes down, give a speech. Okay? He's going to drink his bottle of warm milk, and he needs to go to sleep. He can't hang. He can't. We got to get him. Listen, do me a favor. Put some super imitation or make-believe people in an audience. If you need help, I'll get my producer and engineer here to help you guys over there in Washington. And we'll make this fake thing up. Can we do that with people just to clap and wave and make believe they're asking them a question? And pre-tape the man speaking so that you can cut and fix it before he comes on television. Because he's looking bad. He's looking bad. The only thing worse was, could you imagine if he would have been a Republican? Oh my God. If Biden would have been a Republican in office and he acted like that, they would have swore that he's on meds, that he's on drugs, that he's smoking Camaro's blunts. They would have did something. Because if that would have been Trump or anybody from a Republican Party, oh my God. But this man is literally falling asleep. He sits there, he's staring at stuff. He doesn't know what he's reading. He doesn't know what state he's in, but that's ridiculous. He comes on TV and he says 5% of the gun companies, dealers, are the blame for 95% of the deaths of people that are dying in the street to illegal guns. Listen, I don't care what grade you went to. Okay? 1 and 1 is 2. 2 and 2 is 4. 4 and 4 is 8. 3 and 2 is 5. It doesn't add up to 95. 5 doesn't add up to 95. It'll go into 95 evenly, but it doesn't add up to 95%. The people that are dying in the streets are not going in to gun shops to buy the guns. They're coming over that damn border that you won't close. And the reason they're doing that to you, and wake up, America, Wake up, all you African Americans. Wake up, all you legal immigrants. And wake up, all you Puerto Ricans. And wake up, all you white people. Wake up. Because the reason they're doing that is that if they can pass for them to be able to vote without asking for ID and without asking for proof and doesn't need to be an American citizen to vote, every one of them people that are coming over the border are going to vote Democrat. And the reason they're going to vote Democrat is because there's no policing. There's most of them. They're going to bring federal police in. And guess what? You just gave up your country. You gave up your country. They're going to lower that American flag from the White House and they're going to raise the Chinese flag. They're going to raise Russia's flag. And dare you to say, God bless America. Or dare you to get on your hands and knees and pray. Or dare you to say it because they're going to put you down like there's no tomorrow. Why do you think you got Muslims here? You got people in Congress, okay? They're complaining about America. But if they're complaining so much that America's wrong, well, why aren't they becoming politicians in Iran? You ever think of that? Why ain't you in all these other countries? You know, you want to bomb Israel, Hamas, but why ain't you running over there and changing policies over there and running a political? Oh, wait a minute. Could it be possible that women are not allowed to be political positions? Could it be possible that if you are not, because you know what? I believe that in Pakistan, if you're a Christian, you can't hold the government position to vote. But they want to do over here, they want to take down Christianity. You're stupid if you let them do it. You're stupid if you let them do it. They're going to control what's happening with you. And you're heading that way. They got you sleeping. They gave you a check for $1,400. You went out and bought a Chinese-made television set, and now you can't pay your cable bill. Stupid. They gave you extra food stamps. Hey, keep it up. They're spending millions of dollars to put all these people coming over the border in hotels. Kamala Harris flew longer periods of time, infecting the environment on a jet to go to the border and visited the least place on the border that had trouble. The least place that had trouble, she visited. She didn't go nowhere near. If you look at that map of Texas, she went all the way to the tip of top. Listen, people, we're going to start this Bill of Rights. We're going to start the information that we're putting out. It's important. We're going to have more information about this. If you need to follow up on this, you can go to my website to continue to follow up. Okay? freedomnottyranny.com. It's my show. I'm also going to have Rumble. So you can come, you know, but you're going to be able to follow it here. Go to my website. You're going to get information. And here and there, we're going to start continuing to give a special program just to do with this. And we're going to have organizations. We got things lined up for months to come with how to make yourself more independent and how to take control of what the government is doing to you now. Follow up, sign up to my web page, follow up what's happening here. And this time we're going to bring in people and it's going to blow your mind. Okay? So God bless you. See you next week. I hope and pray that everything continues to work, but stop letting them lie to you and making you a fool. Okay? David Torres loves you. Goodbye. Take care. See you next Monday.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to An Hour with Dave, a straight shooting talk show that doesn't hold anything back. You either love the show, hate the show, love me, hate me, doesn't matter, but it's the show